AI voice cloning. Is the human voice well protected? Do you remember the voice of the computer in the film, Her? It was Scarlett Johansson's. In 2024, when the actress realized that a new voice developed by OpenAI sounded strikingly similar to her own, she opposed it and obtained the amicable withdrawal of the disputed voice. A threshold had been crossed. For the first time, the reproduction of a vocal identity by AI had become a current legal issue. 2 years later, the question reached the French courts. Recently, 8 major French dubbing voices, including those associated with Julia Roberts, Richard Gere, Angelina Jolie, Harrison Ford and Buzz Lightyear, initiated legal action against 2 American platforms accused of cloning their voices through artificial intelligence without authorization. Some voices were removed within days, while others took longer. Under French law, the protection of the voice is long-standing, but now takes on new significance. An identifiable voice cannot be used, imitated, or synthesized without authorization. An infringement of personality rights alone is sufficient to justify withdrawal, prohibition, and compensation. When an artist-performer is involved, the vocal performance also falls under neighboring rights. Any fixation, reproduction, communication, or use to train AI requires prior authorization. Voice cloning may therefore combine infringement of personality rights, violation of neighboring rights, and unlawful processing of biometric data. Examples are multiplying. Musical recordings reproducing a singer's voice, vocal models trained on archives and catalogs to generate new dialogue, audio deepfakes attributing statements never spoken, or the reuse of customer recordings to train voice synthesis systems. In each of these scenarios, consent, transparency, purpose limitation, and control become legally decisive. In the United States, the response is emerging through contractual and collective frameworks. The agreement ratified in July 2025 by SAG-AFTRA requires consent, disclosure, and compensation for the use of digital vocal replicas in games and interactive media, complemented by new advertising compensation mechanisms. Since his election as president of SAG-AFTRA in September 2025, Sean Astin, whom we may remember as a child actor in Richard Donner's The Goonies, has defended performers' rights against AI piracy. He states that artificial intelligence inevitably harms actors, particularly voiceover performers, stresses that this sector is extremely threatened, evokes a true existential tsunami, and calls for stronger protections in upcoming professional negotiations based on consent, transparency of uses, and specific remuneration for digital replicas. For producers, studios, and platforms, the consequences are immediate. Exploiting an AI-generated voice without a clear legal framework weakens the entire chain of rights. Everything now depends on prior written consent, precise definition of uses, transparency regarding training data, the possibility of withdrawing vocal models, and remuneration adapted to synthetic exploitation. Failing this, litigation risk becomes immediate. The human voice has become a central legal territory, at the crossroads of identity, artistic creation, biometric data, and freedom of expression. Protecting it does not mean slowing innovation. It means maintaining the protection of the human being at the very heart of creation. An article by Lawrence J. Benamou, entertainment attorney, Paris, California,